afternoon. I hope everyone viewing this is doing well, all things considered. Very challenging time. I hope you're all staying healthy, safe, and sane. I know it's not as easy as it sounds these days. I'm Kevin Bartram. I'm here today to share some success stories in social impact sponsorship marketing, where we are generating true community engagement in brand content, as the title slide says. The social impact marketing program we are talking about today is a partnership involving the Golden State Warriors and PG&E, Northern and Central California's primary energy provider. Their partnership extended to several nonprofit community partners, and the outcome was a win for all. Most importantly, for the organizations doing really vital work in underserved communities. Little about me, that's my son Derek and me at a Warriors game a few years ago. That guy is now 16 and taller than me, so yes, they do keep growing. And by the way, he got his driver's license just this morning before I recorded this, so things keep evolving even in the shutdown. I've been doing this type of work for more than 25 years and focused on and was focused on social cause and CSR work going back to the 90s. I started allocating more of my time to sustainability supporting partnerships about 15 years ago, and have continued working community engagement and other cause-related programs throughout that time. I have supported many nonprofits over the years. My team and I have, both as clients and as partners for brand clients. Some of this work has been working for nonprofits on major sponsorships such as naming rights and building out marketing partner ecosystems for major events and properties. I've been hands-on throughout this time, as it's really the impact on the community that drives me the most. It's the payoff in the end that makes me feel good about the work. I've even picked up a hammer along the way. That's me and a team of volunteers working on a habitat build in the picture on the top. Our guiding principles in doing this work, we ask these questions when designing and activating social impact partnerships. First, do the outcomes of the program and the investments, do they support the community? Does the work truly help lift people and organizations? Is the work tied to genuine positive intentions? Is it authentic? Because if it's not, there can be blowback, and especially now, I think more and more so, consumers and followers are being more attentive to the motivations behind doing this work, and the amount of value that actually is reaching the intended people, the organizations being served. And of course, we always need to focus on how the brand is positioned and how it ultimately wins. We want to reward and encourage continued investments like the one we'll talk about here today. The partnership between PG&E and the Warriors started in the 2014-2015 season. PG&E had been sponsoring the San Francisco Giants with a focus on sustainability for a number of years, and wanted to design a partnership with the Warriors that truly supported the community and helped the team's new ownership expand the impact of their foundation. By 2015-16, we were in full development and activation mode of these two primary programs, Local Warriors and Hoops for Kids, both powered by PG&E. And by 2016-17, the program was so strong that we were awarded the Sponsor Activation of the Year by the Warriors, with PG&E, a regional brand with limited resources, beating out big companies like American Express, Kia, and other national level sponsors. The key was program design, authenticity, and a very effective activation process. There are lots of details in a program like this. The details are everything. That's our client, Casey Olin, pictured here, along with the Warriors account lead, Eric Kuwait, colleague and friend of mine for a number of years. And it's really important to note here that programs like this require the work and support of many caring professionals, with each organization involved doing their part and involving a number of people from their respective teams. As the agency lead, our job is to shape strategy, negotiate a valuable sponsorship package that contains all the right benefits, then oversee activation to make sure the blueprints are brought to life. And when it works, it's a beautiful thing. PG&E's primary focus is not selling more product. They're unique that way. Sometimes their focus is to sell less product when we're working on projects that involve energy efficiency or zero net buildings, as was the case with the Exploratorium Museum in San Francisco. They actually are working to help the organization use as little energy from them as possible. So very unique that way. They really benefit by truly supporting community and connecting to their constituents. And they have many employees living in communities served, which makes this a true grassroots effort. Like any brand, PG&E values visibility and positive association with a vital cause, and they seek earned media and robust social media exposure. And they greatly value employee engagement and volunteerism to build company morale and to reward community support. So the first program to be reviewed is Local Warriors, powered by PG&E. Local Warriors consisted of a series of community volunteer projects that included extensive refurbishment of public spaces that serve youth and families. The work culminated in major volunteer events that included collaborative work with Warriors players, staff, members of the nonprofit and school communities, and elected officials. We then had dedication events emceed by media personalities with talks by elected leaders, PG&E, and Warriors executives and players. From this work, we were able to capture really compelling video content, which we then shared and distributed to tell stories about the work in media, online, and in arena. The content kind of speaks for itself. It was, you know, when you design a program like this, the content should be fairly easy to capture if you're doing the right work. And then that combined with very talented content people to actually film or video the work and pull together the edited material, it can come together very well, as you will see from this initial clip, which will tell you the story of a project that a warrior joined us on to help some folks at a space in Oakland.
So we're at the Tasafaranga Recreation Center in Oakland, working with the Warriors on a project to help our community. We're making some gifts for kids. We're working on fixing some bulletin boards, things to help make this a better place for the kids to participate in activities.
This is exciting to be out in the community because this is my neighborhood. I live in East Oakland and I live blocks from this center, and so the fact that PG&E, the company that I work for, has committed to giving back in the community where I live is just incredibly inspiring. And so I love what we're doing because I can see the impact of those who will benefit from being at this center every day.
That's beautiful.
The Warriors and PG&E have brought an incredible number of volunteers to change a part of Oakland recreation centers and to give kids a sense of hope and pride.
It's very rewarding, you know, just seeing them look on their face and they smile, you just talking to them. Me growing up, you know, I've seen it, then you want to inspire people, come to help kids as much as possible. There you go. You're welcome. Warriors!
So you see there, lots of action, lots of kids, happy kids. I love dancing, and lots of volunteers. The white local warrior shirts you see were, you know, in huge numbers at each of these events, hundreds of them at each, and all worn with pride. So here's another local warriors project. This was in the neighborhood of San Francisco, known as the Dog Patch. Coincidentally, one of the primary outcomes of this project was the conversion of a field into a dog park. It was actually an empty lot, and it was converted into a dog park for the community. This also involved painting a community center and refurbishing an outdoor basketball court and playground that you'll see in the video here. The event was very well covered by media and attended by the late San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee, among other dignitaries. Again, lots of volunteer support and engagement by the community. And you'll note our MC here is a local media personality.
The The Dog Patch in the Mission Bay area is soon going to be home to our Golden State Warriors, and it's great to see the team and the community partners already making a huge impact.
We're down here in Dog Patch today, and we're enjoying what the Community Foundation for the Warriors is doing together with the city and PG&E and Good Tidings to redo a whole basketball court and also instigate a whole bunch of volunteers to do all kinds of other activities that help improve the neighborhood.
During the Dog Patch Neighborhood Revitalization Day, over 100 PG&E employees have donated their time with Warriors employees.
I think that's what really counts, making that investment in the young people so they have a future and they can see themselves doing great things.
This is a moment for us to be very proud because a lot of smart people rolled up their sleeves and they put their minds together and they pulled resources together to help pave this beautiful basketball court.
This is actually our 61st court we have built with the Warriors in 22 years.
Who's ready to play basketball?
Playing basketball is awesome, but I want to tell you something. Stay in school, do well, because we also need engineers. Engineers of tomorrow, engineers of color. We are better together when we do things like this.
Supporting programs like this go a long, long way in the development of young people, and ultimately that's what all of us are about, contributing to the next generation, the next era of young people, making sure that we produce positive, productive young people for the future.
Good work there, and I love the energy of all of that. And again, David West is a great guy, longtime NBA star, and really walks the walk in the community. This next one was a different type of project involving the bagging of 5,000 lunches for underserved community members in San Jose. Another day, another heartwarming story. This one featuring Warriors star Sean Livingston. I really should mention that we were incredibly fortunate to build and activate this whole program while the Warriors were ascending as the top team in the NBA and one of the most visible sports franchises in the world. As we rode several years of Giants World Series success for higher engagement and visibility, we were able to enjoy the rock star status of the Warriors throughout the local Warriors peak years. You get a lot more people seeing your work if you're doing it with a successful team. Not to say that an unsuccessful team isn't worth working with, that's important too, but you get more visibility when the team is doing better. Obviously, more people paying attention, more people watching TV, more people following the team online, and more in the stands. So with that, I'm going to roll this event, which took place at a nonprofit called Sacred Heart in San Jose.
Just want to thank PG&E just for being here as well, putting on this event, Sacred Heart, all the volunteers. This wouldn't happen without you guys. I just see you guys working hand in hand, working together to make this happen.
Anytime you can give back to the community is always great. We live in this community. We play in this community. We want to have an impact in this community, and I think the Warriors are doing a great job of doing that.
I think an event like this speaks volumes about the commitment to the community that the Warriors have, and we're just proud at PG&E to be able to partner with the Warriors to do great events like this.
When they show and do things like this, which is giving back to the community, coming out to the same community that actually supports them, right? When they come back out and return the favor, if you will, and say, hey, we're here as well to invest in this community, to say thank you, to help however we can. I think that sets a great role model for our community members, our youth, to say, that's what I want to be like.
So much of what they do is, kind of spread the love around the Bay Area. Efforts like these, it really shows and demonstrates their commitment to the community. It's about community building overall.
This is where it starts. It starts off of the court, impacting the community, you know, getting behind the community and the fans as well, and then everything else translates on the court.
So finally, one final local Warriors event that I want to cover here. Now, it's a different type of event, a little cleaner, a little different feel, as you'll see. That's a career summit involving Warriors executives, PG&E executives and engineers, and others who spoke with about 100 San Francisco Unified High School students about career choices and how to pursue a path in work. This event resulted in unique video capture and outcomes that were shared via Warriors and PG&E platforms with local TV news coverage. You'll see here, like I say, different type of event, and the great thing here was we had senior Warrior executive involvement, including Rick Welts, the president of the Warriors.
What's cool about today is that you guys are going to be face-to-face with some top executives from both Golden State Warriors and PG&E.
Well, today was an opportunity for a lot of us at the Warriors to have an opportunity to sit down with kids who are trying to figure out what their careers are going to be, what their path in life is going to be, and to have like that one-on-one opportunity to listen to their stories and hopefully impart a little bit of wisdom about what we've learned in our career has been, I think, a better opportunity for us probably than the kids, but I hope the kids enjoyed it too.
You're competing with other people who have the same level of experience, which is little or maybe none, right? So how are you going to stand out?
So I didn't have too much experience on answering questions for interviews, and now since I've done these mock interviews, it helps me understand how it works and what questions to focus on. I feel a lot more confident.
Now, the best part, our highlight today, is of course our conversation with Warriors Center David West. Let's hear it for David!
And once you find that thing, right, that you love and appreciate about yourself, you don't ever let anybody take that away from you. Love those things about yourself, and then when you go into different environments, that's what you present. People figure those things out about you, and then that's how you create value for yourself. That's how you make yourself a valuable person, right? You can't be valued unless you value you.
Things that I really try to impart to them. I think it's the message I try to carry with me every day. It's that you have to find something in your life that you're passionate about, and if you follow that passion, going to work every day is not going to work. Going to work every day becomes a joy, and if you can find that, you're one of the rare people in the world who can, but it's something we should all aspire to.
The impact of local Warriors on the organizations that are supported runs really deep. This included the improved facilities and programs, community visibility, and of course, association with the beloved Warriors. When bringing the program to life at games in the arena, we usually had community members in attendance, hosting them in VIP style, where they were often able to see pregame shoot around and other unique behind the scenes experiences. These could be life-changing events for some of those kids living in challenging socioeconomic environments, all very redeeming for those of us involved in making these programs happy. Seeing the kids have a great experience and having some experiences that maybe they'd never had before is inspiring to them and certainly to us. The content we generated through these programs was professionally developed, working with the Warriors and PG&E communications leadership to produce versatile and compelling content. Then we distributed this content through many media platforms established prior to each event. PG&E had certain rights that came as part of their sponsorship deal. The Warriors sponsorship and community teams did incredible work to set the stage for this very effective content capture, and then drove distribution and engagement with PG&E communications. Here's an example of how this content played in a TV pickup. This may take a second to load here. It's coming from a from a third-party site that takes a bit to connect with. But I do want to mention the strategy working with TV when you don't have rights, when you haven't bought ads on the network. You need to make sure that the content is very compelling, is very genuine, serves the community in some way, and that the team is involved and behind it. And that's really how then you're able to get the visibility, the coverage that you're aiming for.
Welcome back to DC. Warriors trail the Wizards by 8. Last Friday, I joined Ian Clark in San Francisco, and we talked to high school students about the paths we took to build our careers. In tonight's Forward Right choice, we go to the Innovation Hangar in San Francisco, where students participated in professional development workshops hosted by the Warriors and PG&E. And they worked on interview skills and resume writing. And then in the Q&A session with Ian and me, Ian shared about how his parents influenced him to care about school and what it was like to grow up in a big family and his aspirations to be an agent one day. And we both talked about our mentors and how the students could also find mentors as well. Guys?
I didn't know Ian wanted to be an agent when he's done. It's interesting. Roz and Ian talking to the kids there. It's good.
From Belmont? That was his college? Is he the only player to ever play in the league from Belmont?
You'll have to look that up to see if that's actually the case. That piece worked well because Roz, that you saw there, was the sideline reporter. She actually now, I believe, is with TNT a couple of years later here. But she participated, as you see as you saw in the clip and see on screen, in the talks that day, and then was able to speak to it on air and connect all the dots back. And that's, again, when it works really well, and when the TV, the channel network will be supportive of getting that content on. Because we accessed certain social media rights through sponsorship design and contracting, we were able to generate substantial visibility and engagement online, leveraging our very authentic and heartwarming content. PG&E is not the most exciting brand and has had its share of reputational challenges over the years. So this type of coverage in close association with the relatively pristine Warriors brand is of incredibly high value to the sponsor company. That said, what we paid for the sponsorship was lower than what larger national brands might pay, and we were able to have a sizable portion go directly to the foundation, which was then dispersed to community organizations. We have some great endorsements here. People across the board, the players, the executives, the elected officials, the volunteers, folks from the community, the students, all generally had a great experience and had great things to say after the fact. And it's what we're really looking for in these events, is for them to be inspiring and to open people up to new ways of working and new ways of thinking, and hopefully to light a spark in a kid, or some kids, many kids. So the second program, which we'll move through more quickly, is Hoops for Kids, which generated at least $500,000 per year for community organizations. Hoops for Kids was designed before the Warriors set three-point shot records, but we saw that three-pointers were going to be the lifeblood of the team and bought in at the right time. Of course, there was no cap on what PG&E would pay out, as there generally is when there's a contribution generated on a per action basis, but it was nonetheless extremely generous and meaningful to the grant recipients. PG&E was not responsible for the full $500,000. There was funding coming from a couple of other foundations, but they were providing the bulk of it through their sponsorship. I should mention too, one of the great things about this is every time that a Warrior hit a three-pointer, or most of the time, what you see, the images on screen there, the arena would light up, and the ribbon LED would have Hoops for Kids and the PG&E logo run around and roll around the arena, and the scoreboard would light up, and everybody knew that $500 just went to another nonprofit through Hoops for Kids. Hoops for Kids supported 8 organizations annually, with contributions being divided by those social service groups, all working with underserved populations. In addition to funding, Organizations were hosted at games and pregame events. Videos were produced for each organization and shown at halftime on the scoreboard and on TV. And then that video for each organization was provided to them for their own use in fundraising and promotion. For the in-arena version, we included a PG&E community relations executive to provide brand perspective. So I'm going to play you a summary here.
The safety and vitality of our communities is our #1 priority. That's why it's so important for us to partner with organizations in the community that provide safe and fulfilling opportunities for kids.
Hoops for Kids is a unique partnership where every time a player makes a three-pointer, $500 goes to support nonprofits throughout the Bay Area.
We have a tremendous opportunity here to turn Warriors' achievements on the court into meaningful educational opportunities for local Bay Area youth. Through the partnership with the Warriors and Hoops for Kids, PG&E is able to help 8 organizations in the Bay Area that serve Bay Area local youth in after-school and safe play programs.
The Warriors Community Foundation is committed to making sure that all kids have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Part of our commitment is to make sure that they have the tools and the resources they need. This season alone, Hoops for Kids has raised over $400,000 in support of young people in our community.
At PG&E, we really appreciate the partnership of our communities. We love the opportunity to support Hoops for Kids and these nonprofit organizations that serve kids. We challenge the community to get out there with us, volunteer, and support these nonprofits. They do a wonderful job supporting the kids in our community.
We believe in these kids, and together with PG&E, the Toby and Corrette Foundations, the Warriors Community Foundation is able to build bridges between Oakland, San Francisco, and surrounding communities in order to ensure that all of those obstacles are removed.
If you want to learn more about these organizations, go to warriors.com/kids and find out about how all these 8 organizations are making a difference in the Bay Area community every day.
All right. This slide shows the 8 organizations that received funding that year. And if you have access to this deck later, you can click on the links and it'll show you the video that was produced for each of those organizations. Hoops for Kids outcomes included a holistic range of benefits to each org supported, going beyond funding to truly engage and support the kids and families served by these groups. And of course, this was all very media-friendly content. When sharing through social media, it helps to have Steph Curry tossing up his trademark three-pointer. He gets eyeballs people certainly want to watch, and we were able to promote the program through that content as well, the night of and the day after games extensively. So in the end, we love this partnership because everybody involved won. First and foremost, the community and its stakeholders received much needed material support. We saw and felt this impact at every event we supported. Really, as I said earlier, it's what makes it all go for those of us that work on these projects. Those responsible, PG&E and the Warriors, basked in the glow of these authentic actions and deepened their connection to the community served here in the Bay Area. It really was a win-win all across the board. So thanks for viewing our story. I look forward to answering a few questions after this. If I'm not able to answer your question today or you wish to discuss our work, please feel free to reach out and I'll respond as effectively and quickly as possible. Thank you very much, and I look forward to answering a few questions here soon. Bye.